after you don't see yourself for a while, you start questioning, are we not meant to be heroes? Is our mythology not that important? Is basically our culture, does it not matter? And so that became a huge inspiration to go, all right, I've seen countless princess movies. You want to see a princess? We'll show you a princess.
Long, long ago, the ancients told of a great prophecy that a mighty eagle and 3 courageous warriors would one day vanquish the dark lords of the underworld.
Hi, Mitu. It's Cynthia, and I'm here today with the cast, creators, and composers from Netflix newest animated series, Maya and the 3, launching on 10/22. I'm so excited to be talking to Gabriel, Stephanie, and Alan on their newest participation in the show. So hi, guys. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Cindy?
Hey.
How's it going?
Well, good.
Good. So I really wanted to touch base with you and see what you guys loved about your characters, starting with Alan.
He's a wizard. I do magic, man. Like that's the coolest. As a kid, you always you watch cartoons and it's like, wow, I'm a part of that magic that I feel kids are going to see when they see this show. First and foremost that, and then also representing, the Afro-Latinos on this particular show. It's amazing.
You know what's really cool with the character I play, Pichu? He's very different than most of the characters that I've done in animation. Usually my characters are very over the top, super hyper, very, it's very humorous. Whereas Pichu's very serious and calm and just more, and the sound, all the other characters I played are very high pitched. Whereas this one's very down, and so it's complete, night and day for me. And I love the challenge of it.
I loved it across the board about Maya and the 3. These female characters are this beautiful love letter to the idea of a female warrior. And you see it in different iterations throughout those chunks of storytelling. You see these different female characters that are these amazing, incredible, complex, brave characters playing anything from like princesses to diplomats to true warriors like myself, Chimi.
Maya is a 15-year-old feisty warrior that knows who she is and knows what she wants to do, but her mother and father have different plans for her. And she is pushing back aggressively towards that. But obviously all that is put into a hold when her kingdom is threatened by a 1,000-year-old curse. And she, being at the epicenter of it all, is challenged to step up to the plate and become the warrior that she's always wanted to be. And obviously she goes on this journey, this epic journey, and is able to save the day, but with a lot of help from many, many friends.
How did it feel to be working with such a diverse cast that, it's representative of all of the Latin American cultures?
It doesn't happen every day that you have so many Latinx, artists coming together for one project. It feels really, really great. And I think that if we continue on this path and we do more and more of these collaborations, we're going to really, be able to represent our communities, our respective communities much better. Once I realized that, I was like, oh, me as a consumer, I'm the one that truly has the power to really bring forward change and visibility and representation where it is best needed. Oh, then let me do that. I implore everybody to please watch Maya and sit down with your whole family and talk about it too in the end, and Google stuff that you didn't know about yourselves or that you didn't know about your neighbor, and enjoy.
I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to work on this project?
My career somehow has been a continuation of that, and you can hear those elements in my soundtracks like the Motorcycle Diaries or in my work with Café Tacuba, etc. So it has been a very organic experience to write this music for the series, and the inspiration truly comes from our culture, and our rich musical heritage.
I'm such a big fan of the show. It's so wonderful, and it's actually super beautiful to even watch. So I wanted to ask, where did you get the idea for Maya and the 3?
So it's been cooking for a while. Originally, it was supposed to be 3 movies, and no Hollywood studio wanted to make it.
No, sir.
And the inspiration was Sandra. I met her when she was 17 years old, and she was this crazy rebel girl in Tijuana. And her dad was a doctor. Her 3 sisters wanted to study medicine, and she wanted to be an artist. And so I was 17 too, and I fell in love with her. And
you wanted to study art.
Yeah, I was an artist too.
Yeah.
So I was a warrior.
You were a warrior too.
And that became the inspiration, this rebel girl. And then not seeing representation of Mesoamerica in fantasy movies also affected us. Growing up, where we said, well, where are the people that look like us?
Yeah.
And after you don't see yourself for a while, you start questioning, are we not meant to be heroes? Is our mythology not that important? Is basically our culture, does it not matter? And so that became a huge inspiration to go, all right, I've seen countless princess movies. You want to see a princess? We'll show you a princess.
That was another thing, the lack of female heroines in
the mythology.
In mythology, and specifically Latin American mythology.
Yeah, the more we read into it, it was shocking. It was literally a sleeping princess or a victim or a witch. And with all due respect to mythology, it's all made up. So why not go into the core, literally go into the code and hack it and create our own warrior princess?
What inspired you? What actually drove you to include these type of cultures within the series?
Well, the Aztec, more than anything, having grown up in Mexico City, the soccer team, the Águilas del América, you see Aztec culture everywhere. And unfortunately, Mayan culture is not at least in Mexico City, as prevalent. And so when we would go visit,
which is rare because we're so close.
And Mayan culture is older. So when we go to Yucatan, you get inundated with the Mayan culture.
And it's so iconic and so beautiful.
And then just like Romans and the Greek, a lot of the gods, a lot of the pantheons, you go, hey, the Aztec version of this god is named this, but the Mayan version is this. And then the Olmec version is the oldest one. And you start going like, holy cow.
Cross wires,
There's like greatest hits of all these guys. Yeah. And then it became this idea that early on, it was all going to be Mesoamerica. But then what happened to us in real life was when we left Mexico and we came to the US, for the first time, we met people from other parts of Latin America. And so having friends from Puerto Rico and Peru and Argentina and Brazil made me a better person and a better artist. So that became a theme to Maya. She leaves fantasy version of Mesoamerica to go to the Caribbean and meet Rico. And then they go south to basically an Incan Empire kingdom to meet Pichu. And Maya learns that together, they are stronger.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. And we'll make sure to let our audiences know that the show's coming out on Netflix within the next couple of weeks on October 22nd, I believe. But thank you again. And we're so excited to see what's to come next.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you. So happy.
It's up to me!
Here we go.
It's up to me.